Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast. Thank you for tuning in to another brand new episode. Today's episode features And They Rise, St. Louis rock band. We had a great time sitting to talk about their new recordings and some of their background and everything in St. Louis music. Today's episode brought to you by Naked Vine, located in Chesterfield, Missouri, serving up the finest wine, whiskey, tequila, and local craft beers. You can swing by and visit them on Saturday, June 13th, as the Bedlam Brothers will be taking the stage as an acoustic duo. We got live music back over there, so be sure to get involved on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for more updates, and follow along at nakedvine.net. And also every Thursday over there at Naked Vine is Vinyl Night, Vinny's Vinyl Night. Bring your own records, and you can spin some vinyl there and have a good time. Also, today's episode brought to you by Roughneck Beard Company, located in Maplewood, Missouri, and you can shop 24/7 at roughneckbeardcompany.com. You get yourself some beard oils and beard balms and junk powder. Treat yourself right, get cleaned up and looking sharp, and smelling good. So you can use my code RPP15 for an exclusive 15% off during your purchase. And again, shop local, support local, and shop at roughneckbeardcompany.com. Also, big thank you to Heil Sound for helping me make the show sound great. Visit heilsound.com today and get yourself some brand new gear. All right, that's it for me, everybody. Thank you for listening. Thanks for all the continued support. If you need any Rock Paper Podcast shirts or hats or anything else, feel free to reach me at rockpaperpodcast@gmail.com, and I would love to hook you up with some things. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Have a great day, everyone.
A podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. It's on the internet. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. Yeah. That's also like my mom. It makes it sound more confusing, doesn't it? It sounds like this.
Hey everybody, we're And They Rise. You're listening to Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Scissors beat paper, paper covers rock. Rock beats scissors, Shane covers non-stop. Never know what new kind of guest that he's got coming at you. Live and direct on the spot. Could be rock, folk, country, or hip-hop, jazz. All kind of folks that he has. Could be an artist or a comedian to make you laugh on the
Rock Paper Podcast.
double-decker fudge round, rolling round town. Shane coming at you live and direct from ground zero. He's your hero, he's your bestie. Rock Paper Podcast with Shane Presley.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast, coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri. Hanging out today with the guys of And They Rise. Welcome to the show, guys.
I like turtles. Hi, welcome.
Oh, wow.
I mean, thank you.
We can tell where this is going to go pretty quick.
You guys want to...
Blake, I play the drums.
There it is.
Matthias, play bass and sing.
I'm Scott, and I play the turtles.
There you go.
We can't possibly be serious if you haven't figured this out. Our music is serious, we're not.
All right.
I've been... we just had Mother's Day a bit ago, and we got my mother-in-law, we got her this like giant turtle she wanted for her front little garden area. And anyway, so the whole day I'm like sitting there thinking about that line, like I like turtles.
Yeah.
And like just like on repeat all day.
Yeah, I got a puppy, and it was a real hard choice to toss up, like a giant snapping turtle or a puppy. I went with a puppy.
That was the same thing. It was like, I got a kid, or do I want a new drum set? So
yeah.
You're selling the kid to get a new drum kit.
I was just surprised that like Stray Paws Rescue had no giant snapping turtles for adoption.
Right.
I mean,
dude, people want to keep those. It's like you hold on to those.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't have those. But maybe they should look into it. Write some suggestions.
Hey Siri. Yeah.
What's she gonna say? Come on, you gotta ask her.
Go ahead.
I want a giant snapping turtle for a pet.
Okay, I found this on the web for I want a giant snapping turtle for a pet. Check it out.
Joe Exotic.
Wow.
Okay. All right. Anyways,
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to be here and getting to know a little bit more about you guys and the music and everything. And I did notice. So I read your bio online, and it says that this has been a project in the making for over 10 years now.
actually, much longer, as we recently found out from old emails.
Yeah, I dug through an old chest of stuff that just pictures old merch from other bands. Found an email that was sort of a draft that I made of lyrics to the first song that he and I wrote together with some chicken scratch on it, and then there happened to be a date stamp at the bottom. It said 2006. Mm-hmm. It was like almost 14 years. It was September of 2006, and it was an extra 4 years longer than we thought, 3 or 4 years longer than we thought. It just goes to show we drank way too much in the last decade to even remember where we are. But time flies, man. That's all I got to say. We've written a lot of stuff since then, and that's what we got now. It's basically just trying to get everything out that we had spent so much time writing.
So why do you think it took that long to come back around to it?
I think a combination of things. I've been touring for like the last 10 years,
Right.
like a lot, like probably I'd say on average like 9 months out of the year. So being on the road all the time as a guitar tech, really, doesn't allow for much, getting together, writing, recording, stuff like that. I mean, when we had breaks, we did, and there's actually one. We would do what we can when I was on the road, and there's in one of the songs we'll be releasing, there's actually a part where I was on Wi-Fi on the airplane. I was mixing a song, and I was chatting with him, with Matthias, and I heard this vocal part that needed to be in the song. So I had him. It didn't need to be pristine or anything. It was kind of needed to sound gritty and dirty, and so I explained to him what it was. He went out to his car, and he was at his office, and he went out to his car and sang it into his cell phone, and then emailed me the file while I was on the plane. I put it in the song and mixed it in, and then sent him a mix before the plane landed, and that part is still in the song. So
Yeah, it was really cool. I actually did a couple different takes. I got in the car, and then I didn't think it sounded, I guess, they're verby enough. And I'm on an old Android voice memo, doing this in the car. So I actually drove. My parents didn't live far from there, and they were gone, and they had this vaulted bathroom. So I went into their bathroom, and it was all tiled out, and just sat in the room naked. Had no sound, no reference track. It just,
Whoa!
Didn't need to know what you're wearing.
Wait a minute.
but,
Why were you naked in your
that's
mom's
how I
bathroom?
sing all my parts, man. That's how I
all your
really
parts?
get into it.
I wanted
That's how
more
really get into
reverberation,
it.
so I took all my clothes off.
I mean, if you're gonna go all out. I didn't want anything to soak up the sound. It needed to be real verby,
I wanted it to bounce off my nipples.
and it did. And look how good it came
Where'd
out.
you put the microphone?
I think you know the answer
Oh,
to
in the
that
shower.
question.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's part of the reason why it took so long for all this to come out. And the other part is that we kept honing it and refining it. We felt like we wanted more material, newer stuff. As years go by, we kind of like wore ourselves out on some of the older stuff, and we needed a break from it, so we started working on newer stuff. And so eventually it landed us to 2020, where we felt like we had refined and we had enough material. Now we're like, it's time. It started eating at us, and we felt like I felt like I couldn't move forward and start writing new stuff, because I was just it was almost like a writer's block, because we had all this stuff that you haven't, when you don't let go of something, you know what I mean? Like, you can't move forward if you don't let go.
Right.
So it took us 14 years to start letting go.
Yeah. I guess even before that, though, I guess you guys all known each other a long time before all this. So
Yeah.
quite a bit of history between the three of you. And
Yeah, man.
yeah.
Yeah, he and I hated each other for a long time before we even knew each other.
That's Blake and Matthias.
Blake and Matthias, yeah.
I remember the story too vividly. I was 22, 23, something, and I worked at Mars Music off St. Charles Rock Road, and I had a show that night at Sally T's, if you guys remember where that was at in Old Town St. Peters. It was like a St. Peters Mississippi Nights, really. Everybody played there, and I had to work. I was late, and of course I had to open up for Matthias because he was so much better than me at the time. And I was late, and he was pissed.
He put that in his own head.
He was pissed.
We were actually videoing for a TV show that night. It was like some sort of charter show or something at the time when they were just coming out. It was our first TV spot. Mm-hmm. And how late? You were like...
It was like 15 minutes late.
Bullshit.
Whatever.
Then you had to set up your drums for an hour.
There were plenty of time for you to get on stage and take your shirt off and play, whatever. So I was like, and he gave me this evil eye. And I was like, who the fuck is this guy looking at me? Like, fuck this guy. I played my set. I was still in my work clothes. Played my set. Then he played his set. And I was like, wow, that's really good. I'm glad I waited for that. And then fast forward, we became like BFFs, and we're in this band called Rusted Shine for 5-6 years, and that's how I met Scott, because he was in MDZ and they recruited me, and then we all just kind of started hanging out and playing with each other. Really.
Yeah.
Covers, originals, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice, man. Well, we got you guys are talking about some of these songs that you've been working on, and we do currently have 2 singles out there. It's available everywhere digitally, wherever you're getting your music at. But we're going to drop in some clips along the way here, and let's start with God Forsaken. How's that?
Sounds good.
You guys, what do you want to talk about this song, guys? Any stories come to mind?
I don't know.
This one in particular, well, I mean, we can talk about how a lot of this is a good indication of how we can kind of co-write songs with Scott and I. So this one, believe it or not, half of the lyrics to this song were meant as sort of an idea when I was talking to Clint at the time, Clint Lowry at the time. We were just kind of like talking about music, and he sent like a little demo of something he had been working on. It was just a riff for him, and I threw some lyrics over the top of it and went over to his house to record them and send it over. And he had gone in a different direction with it, and I had this sort of pile of lyrics of this idea, and he had this riff that ended up being the main riff of the song. It was really kind of intricate, almost like took you a while to actually get it down, even playing it live. But it was a situation where you had this riff and I had these lyrics, and at the same time we like, all right, well, I like where that's going. Let's see how we can make these fit in this song. And a lot of how our songs evolved over time was one idea turned into us kind of crafting a music, the whole music, I guess, landscape for it, picking apart what we wanted. And then it turned out to be, hey, I've got all these lyrics. Here's a hook. And then he and I kind of co-wrote the rest. It was more or less usually one of us had a hook, and then the rest of the song kind of evolved from that. And a lot of it was us sitting in a room just pitching ideas to each other, and that's where God Forsaken came from.
And
straight out of your room.
And that was 2011, 10, 11?
11, I think. Somewhere around there. Yeah, because it was 11 or 12, because it was after we did that show with Clint at Pops that he and I were talking and sharing music and stuff, and that was in August of 11. So
yeah, so we initially recorded God Forsaken in 2011 or 12, and the drums we actually went back and did a little bit later, but it would have been in that same era. So the drums that you hear are still from there, and I think a lot of like some of the vocals maybe, but we re-recorded a lot of it. But yeah. Initially, God Forsaken was recorded in like 2011 or 12.
Yeah.
Wake to the day of light, silent but screaming inside. Echoes of you still crossing my mind. Watch as the colors fade, forcing my way through the endless days, telling myself I'll make it through. And make it
Yeah, man. I like this song a lot. It sounded really good. I mean, just like, I don't know, it was fun. Like, fun to crank it up and jam to.
Thanks, man.
That's kind of like our style, I guess.
Yeah.
Little throwback sound, more
sure.
to like the 90s era rock. So
Yeah, which, I mean, I still, I mean, all that stuff's still on heavy rotation in my
Cool.
catalog and stuff. And I listen to, you know, even, which is crazy, like you think about, like, you know, lately they've been doing like all these, like, you know, Wayback Point Fest and various things, and or you see like bands, Goo Goo Dolls and Collective Soul, and which all these bands are touring and doing huge things still today. You know, bigger than they were even when they in the height of their stuff. And so it's like, I think I even heard from, like, you know, again, this is not 90s, but like Hall & Oates, like they're doing like bigger tours than they ever have in their careers, and you know, and they've been doing it for, you know, 40 something years.
it's because their shit was good.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
it's also
These are
'cause
good songs.
90s and maybe early 2000s was like the last of musical proficiency, you know, like instruments and being able to write a song and play it live without a DJ or a computer or a bunch of tracks. It was that was it. It was, and it's, in my opinion, it's like done after 2001, 2002, 3, you know, and now it's just,
The garage band era is
You know,
over,
just done.
which is sad. But yeah,
people want to see that, you know, they want to see people play their instruments. They don't, you know, they don't really want to see people just stand up there and dance and lip sync anymore. It's not.
I mean,
you-
Burning Man, Coachella. I mean, I think there are some people.
No.
There's a lot of people, a lot of people actually that.
It's not what we're talking about.
All right, we'll agree to agree.
Whatever.
Yeah, I think I think Foo Fighters are maybe like the last ones holding on to that like garage rock kind of thing, and they're doing real well with it.
Yeah,
so
there's a lot of bands that are doing it, man.
sure,
You know,
I think there's a lot of bands that are like kind of unknown, like in the mainstream of things, and they're doing huge numbers on touring wise and everything, and online, but they're not the household name because you don't.
True.
But they have a huge following wherever they built it up by doing the road all the time, being out there, and so
Maybe if they played Burning Man, they'd be bigger.
Fire Festival.
there's like so many of my favorite bands that like nobody knows anything about, but like I mean,
That's what I always say. It was one of the things I always say. Some of the best bands are people you've never heard of.
Yep.
And like you have bands like Shiner out of KC, right?
Yeah,
Phenomenal
been around
band.
for decades.
But there's no mainstream success there, but they have an underground following, cult following for them. And they're
Big
awesome.
Wreck.
Big Wreck, another band out of Canada. Carnival,
yeah.
Australia.
Tesseract.
Yeah.
Really kick-ass bands that are just
Thrice.
not mainstream. At least Thrice has gotten a little bit more commercial success, but it took them years and years and years to build that up.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Yeah, man. So we haven't as far as ANDTHEYRISE, we haven't been able to do any live shows yet. There's nobody seen this band live yet. Just
no, we've literally just in the last month, I guess, started rehearsing these songs.
Yeah.
We had to relearn how to play these songs, like relearn our parts, because again, a lot of these songs, When You Fall, is the same way, written in that same era, 2010, 11, 12, and there's a lot of layering, there's a lot of textures, and we never thought about, how are we going to pull this off live?
Right.
So here we are trying to actually get it ready for that. Now that we released some of this stuff, and we're having to go back and go, what did I play? Like, what did I do there? Oh, what tuning was I in?
Take it apart.
Yeah.
Pull it off as a 3-piece, because we're hell-bent on trying to pull this off as 3 people.
Right.
If anything, from shock value alone, but just for the fun of it, it's a challenge. For each one of us, it's like, all right, it gets each one of us to step up a little bit and not fall into a comfort zone. It's like we have to push ourselves to do this stuff.
Yeah, let me tell you how hell-bent it is. How much this bends hell is that I'm singing. I'm singing harmonies. Well, I'm trying my best. I'm working it out right now. And I have never sang. I mean, I can sing. I can carry. I'm not tone deaf, but I don't have a most flattering voice. in the world. As a matter of fact, they take microphones away from me on stage. I'm not allowed to have a microphone.
Yeah, I was gonna say
on stage because
make sure you
people and they say,
Why don't you give us a little sample there, Blake? Give us a little jingle. A little 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3.
I'm drinking whiskey in my kitchen. Yeah, I wish you quit your bitching. Yeah. So they turn the mic down really fucking low. Yeah, that's how it works. But,
Sound like a combination of Fergie and Jesus.
you can see my angel wings. That's why they don't give me a microphone, pretty much. So I'm going to be quiet.
I like to picture my Jesus. Single frontman, Lunar
But
Skinner.
no, seriously, we figured with, the pandemic going around and it's taking so long, why not, give it our 100% best shot again, do it to its fullest and try and make it as, I don't know, amazing to us as possible. I think that's where we're at. At least that's where I'm at. I want to fully be fulfilled in my playing and singing and with this project, and I want to make it the best that I can possibly do.
Yeah.
And I want to finally push myself at 40.
Yeah. Well, like you're saying is with the pandemic, the quarantine going on and everything. I mean, really, wasn't a bad time to debut some new music when nobody has anywhere to go but to sit and listen to some music and stuff. So, pretty good idea, I think. But we do. We also Scott alluded to When You Fall, which is also we just had a lyric video pop up for this the other day. So check that out on Facebook and YouTube and everything. But anything else we need to know around this tune, guys? Anything come to mind?
Another, like Scott said, same era is Godforsaken. Kind of in the same vein. There was a minute there where, because we picked up writing sessions kind of around the same time, our style kind of tended to revolve around points in time, and it's all congruent because we all fall back to what we really love to play, how we love to write, and our tendencies. But that one always felt like a good follow-up to Godforsaken because it has a similar vein, similar tone. There's some acoustic stuff in there, some huge textures vocally, guitar-wise. There's guitar hooks and vocal hooks. It's kind of it always felt like a natural follow-up. It's a little long, but we didn't care. It's, you know what? It's 5.5 minutes long.
Crown of thorns, black clouds that follow you and I, rain downhill on a perfect line, and washed away all but hope. So let him wash away, let the darkness fade. Let's turn and face the tide, force the skies open wide. If you fall, I am the shadow chasing you down. Waiting there to save you. Pulled asunder for too long. We've waited oceans, this treacherous surface life to fight the blood. It's one we survive. If you fall, I am the shadow.
Hey, can you give me one too, bud?
I'm not.
Thanks, Blake.
Tell them what you're doing. Tell them what you're doing.
We're drinking.
We're drinking. 'Cause that's what we do. No. I'll take a wine glass. Thank you, bartender.
Yeah, I will concur. I'll just reiterate what he said. Godforsaken kind of felt like a good starting point in terms of
Thanks, Blake.
in middle ground in terms of like the sonic ground that we've covered and that we're continuing to cover. And then When You Fall felt similar to that to be, the next introduction, I guess. And then excited to get more of this stuff out there because there's definitely a lot of different vibes, a lot of different territory that we're covering, from heavier stuff to slower stuff to piano based stuff so yeah, it's all over the board, but it's still, like Matthias was saying, it still feels cohesive. We still feel like it has, it all plays well, together. So
yeah, we again, you can find all this music currently streaming or available for download wherever you're getting digital music at. Be sure to follow along on Facebook and Instagram for more music and updates coming soon. And you guys were kind of talking about off mic about how maybe going forwards with some of that, expanding some of that sound, that more you guys splitting vocals and different stuff, and some of the other things you're going to be introducing. And so I'm excited to continue to hear more new tunes coming from you guys.
Thank you.
Do you guys write much together, or do you guys both kind of write separately and then bring it to Blake, or how?
Well, it kind of. I mean, obviously the core of this was Scott and Matthias. I was really busy fucking up my late 20s and early 30s with a bunch of dumb things, and I was kind of really non-existent for 8, 9. I mean, I was always there, but I just wasn't part of the process of the writing. And honestly, with this at that stage of my life, the less cooks in the kitchen, the better.
Yeah.
And it worked out well. They brought it to me. We'd go in the studio and track. I mean, most of the stuff that you hear, part wise, I would get, sent via email. I would listen to it. I didn't even have a kit back then. I was just going to studio and just whatever came out and track it. Nowadays that we're all kind of on the same page life-wise, we're starting to actually write in a band setting again. Mm-hmm. And you can definitely feel how it's a different sound sonically. It's a different feel. And I would say Scott writes differently when it's a band setting, and his vocals are different when it's a band setting, and my drums are definitely different when it's a band setting. It's more raw, natural. When there's 3 people, creating something in the moment, instantaneously. But there's also something to be said for the way they wrote it too. Like, can I add drums to this to add value to the song and give it what it needs to make it the way they wrote it and the way they intended it to be? So I think there's really beauty in both sides of the coin. If I had to choose, I would choose the B side of the coin because I like being involved in the writing as well. But I think that the beauty of the 3 of us being friends really helps with no matter what we do. I think we can pull off and make something out of really nothing, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of the product of what And They Rise became in the catalog, all these songs were basically Scott's outlet and my outlet from. We were both among the, if not the prolific writers in a lot of the bands when it comes to just guitar ideas or vocal ideas in a lot of cases for our respective bands. And when we came together, it was like, okay, our band had Rusted Shine and broken up. A lot of that we were like, it would be a riff and then we'd craft around it, and then I'd come up with a hook or something like that, and we'd assemble songs, almost produce songs ourselves. With Scott, I know you did a lot of the writing with MDZ back in the day, and even your bands before that. There was a lot of songs that you had written. You had a prolific writer as itself, and it was like once his band and his outlet broke and mine broke up, it's like we both kind of found each other. It's like I want to write.
Yeah.
You want to write. We've got something still to say, and combining forces, I think, is really like helped us both get over that era, both like quickly.
Sure.
Get over that era, because it could have been messy. You know, you could have dwelled on it, and I think it was the right time.
I think you and I are the same in the sense that, you know, we're compelled to write. It's not really a choice. It just happens. Like, you know, I would have riffs and song ideas, and I had my little home studio, and I was working on and writing songs, or at least parts of songs, if not complete songs, because that's what I have to do. I have to keep doing it. It's just, it's like breathing, you know, in a sense. And I think you're the same way. You know, you had a lot of song ideas that you know, there's still a lot of song ideas he's had from way back when that, you know, we're gonna be coming out with. And there's still a couple that I still want us to
take a stab at.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. So
I have song ideas too. Come on.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get there. This band is a late blooming band, as you can see. It took us 14 years to release anything, really,
And a global pandemic.
so in maybe another 14 years, Blake, we'll work on one of your
50.
songs.
Just be quiet over there, Ringo. It's cool.
Oh, get you, Ringo, whatever, Yoko.
But well, you guys were also kind of talking about hell bent on making this as a 3-piece, and you guys showed me the jam room with some of the different pedals and different gear that you guys are working on to kind of bring this to life and, you know, keep it interesting, because that's the thing with sometimes with only having 3 guys, it's, you know, hard to offer a lot of that, you know, wide sound, like, you know, offering a big sound like that and stuff. So you know, having all the different amps and pedals and everything else will definitely help to keep it all interesting. So you guys want to mention any of your gear that you guys kind of the setup you guys are going with, and or are you going to save that for the live show when they see it?
I don't know if we have enough time to talk about all the guitar shit.
I mean, in a nutshell, you know, we're experimenting a little bit, and some of it's based on ideas and things that we've seen or he's picked up on the road or things that we've just seen live, and we have the gear to do it. I play guitar and bass in different bands over the years. I have both set up. So basically, we set up had an idea to set up an AB rig with a bass and guitar rig, and it's not the first time that's done. It's just not done as often as you'd think. But from a bass perspective, it adds another layer, another texture, not only a wall, but they're diverse sounds. If you run a bass through a Vox AC30, it sounds nothing like the bass through an Ampeg tube amp, an SVT, and an 810. You know, so the complementary tones that you get out of that and textures you get out of that just make the bass sound huge.
Right.
Which to me, if you don't have another guitarist, you know, when he's soloing or he's noodling around and doing some leads, you need something big behind that to fill it out.
Yep.
And that doesn't even get to touch to his rig, which is ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah. You know, I mean, the objective is to create as much of an immersive sound that one person can possibly do. You know, and there's 2 of us doing that. You know, obviously Blake's doing that as well, and he's going to be expanding on. You know, you're still working on your stuff. You're still working on.
I'm still working on a hybrid kit with acoustic and electronic and singing on my end, and that's about as much as I can do on.
And then, you know, Matthias and I are doing similar things in terms of multiple amp setups to where we have control over, you know, if 1 amp is on, if 2 amps are on. In my case, if there's 3 amps that are on, or any combination of those. So it's all about using dynamics to build and make things sound bigger. You know, when you go from a verse that, you know, you have just 1 clean guitar amp and 1 clean bass amp, and then you go to you know, say a typical band, you know, would just be that same single amp going to a dirty sound, and that same single bass amp just staying clean or whatever, using just 1 pedal. You know, to bring in, you know, potentially another 3 amps between his guitar amp that he's using on his bass and then my 2 other amps that I'm using for my distorted sounds. You know, you go from something that seems very, you know, I don't know, not one-dimensional, but that's the only thing I can think of to describe it, to this massive wall of sound. So it's all about using dynamics and textures to really make as much space and sound as you can, being a 3-piece.
Nice. Yeah, man. Well, you, Blake said, mentioned kind of an acoustic part to his kit, and I think it'd probably be good to drop in Spineless. This is an acoustic track you guys did live, and so this is the live acoustic version, but you will have a studio version due out here in June 12th, available digitally everywhere. But yeah, let's drop in this track, man.
The shade is drawn, the room is gone. Yet another night on my own. One more glance at the ceiling makes me wonder why I never left home. Why do I need you at all? When one more bottle should fix me, I'm to blame. And it's the same sad story read 1,000 other times before. So get out of my mind. Don't wanna share it with you. You know you make me miserable. I'll never share it with you. I'll never share it with you. And as the moonlight fades into dawn, you're chasing shadows down an empty hall. I've got a bad, bad feeling that tomorrow I'll be sleeping alone. Mountain trying, much for conversation again. Got your tongue amazing, how many faces can cry. And it's the same sad song played 1,000 other times before. So get out of my life. I'll never share it with you. You know you make me miserable. And I'll never make up my mind. No one compares to you. Yeah, ooh, I know you make me miserable. I guess I'll stay with you. I guess I'll stay with you. I guess I'll stay with you. I guess I'll stay with you.
You guys gave me a little sneak peek at it, and it sounded really good. I love this, just that type of acoustic rock. Like, I mean, that like Alice in Chains Unplugged MTV set, like is just like one of my all-time favorite things. Tantric and that kind of stuff like that they did, and all that kind of along those lines of acoustic-driven rock like that, and or Days of the New, or any of that kind of stuff.
We're like that, but without like heroin,
right? Yeah, sure.
and a lot of cocaine and meth.
Yeah.
We had Alice in Chains had the heroin,
right.
Tantric had the blow, and then Days of the New had the meth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just drinking wine.
Yeah. But
just grapes, man. It's fucking grapes.
Yeah.
It's just grapes. It's natural.
That's another song. We actually had a friend of ours play guitar on that too. And the next 2 singles we have will feature a friend of ours, a close friend of ours, Matt Arana.
Yeah.
He was
also
in MDZ.
in MDZ.
Yeah, friend of the show.
Yeah.
Actually, I ran into Matt at the auto show. Bumped into just
Oh, I thought you were going to say the boat show.
Yeah.
I just found my boat.
The boat
That's Matt
show. Boat show.
Hey, Matt Arena.
It's just kind of crazy, there's thousands of people walking around, and he's like, "Hey, what's up, man?" I'm like,
He's the other 6'5" guy in the crowd.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So it was cool. Shout out to Matt. But yeah, man, I'm excited to hear the studio version of that one, and have everybody crank that one up too.
Cool.
So I guess obviously nobody's playing shows right now, but I'm assuming that's a big goal for this year, trying to get out there and throw down live.
Yeah, ideally,
at some point.
Hopefully Q4, like end of the year,
Right.
sometime September, October, November.
Are you guys looking like to do this as like put together like as an official album release, or or were you just going to continue with the singles for a while, or?
It's such a weird thing because like album releases, I mean, it just doesn't seem like it happens anymore.
Right.
Like there's not many clubs. I remember back in Mississippi Nights, like do your CD release show, and like I don't know, it just feels like a dead thing to me. Releases I don't know.
It's a strange time. Obviously, things are always fluctuating, and with this whole pandemic, everything's constantly changing. But we had talked a while back about doing multiple different things. We talked about doing an album. We talked about doing 2 albums, an acoustic album because we have enough stuff to do, an acoustic album and an electric album. And then we talked about doing 3 EPs that would all graduate sonically, songs that are kind of like, all acoustic, and then songs that are kind of middle of the road, and then songs that are heavier. And then for the time being, we just decided to do what we took a cue. I was talking to Brian Smith from Cabo, and they're just releasing singles, and
Right.
I was like, I guess it makes sense, man. So we just decided to go with singles for right now, and I think eventually we can. We'll have a grouping of songs that we'll release as an album. How we do it, when we do it, do we follow it up with some show that promotes that, or who knows? We'll see.
We can kind of do whatever.
day.
It gives us the maximum amount of flexibility. We were
Right.
talking about that the other day, and like if we decide to pivot and say let's shift to a heavier version after single 4, or stick with sort of the same sonic route that we've been on and kind of graduate to it. Doing singles, you can kind of choose your own path.
Sure.
And we don't know what people are going to dig, what they're not going to dig. I mean, some people have heard this stuff just in passing, or we've emailed it to them.
That's it. Well, we're in the unique position of it's not that we're, choosing with the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 songs that we have. We have a catalog amassed. We have well over 2 full albums worth of songs that are done, recorded, ready to go, and we're working on new songs now. So we have this unique position to be able to sit back and go, this is the first that the masses are hearing our music, and it's a fortunate position, really, to have waited this long and to go, well, what do you want to release next? We've got this, and this. Versus going, well, we're going to have to release this one because it's the only thing we have ready. And so that, in a sense, affords us a bit of a comfort zone,
Yeah. Yeah, I think like everybody's in the same boat. Nobody knows like the right answer. You know, whatever works best for them, they figure it out. Like some people still prefer to put out a record, some people prefer the singles. But that's kind of the fun of it now is with the internet and everything else, you can just do whatever you want. Like there are no rules to any of it, just whatever, you know. So I feel like the singles help just like, you know, like I think you guys are doing like one a month kind of thing. So I think that's awesome because it gives people something to look forward to. You get excited about the next one and you kind of, you know, you get invested in it instead of like, oh, the record's out, cool. You know, like even me, like I'll get a record and I'm like, oh, this is great. I listen to it and I'm like, all right, when's the next one coming out? And then I got to wait a whole year for it or whatever it is.
Well, and you can't tour on it either. We can't tour on it. We can't play on it. It's kind of like, all right, we blow our wad here. Here's 10 songs.
I think
can't follow up. You know,
my next goal would be. I mean, we had plans to do an actual music video. You know, performance based. You know, video based. You know. But so we went with 2 lyric videos because
video
based video. I knew you were gonna say something like that. I don't like words. Okay. What is this thing in front of me?
Now you know why we don't give him microphones.
Fuck off. Whatever. Anyway, I'm excited when we can actually get in and do that.
Right.
Lyric videos are great. It gives people a sense of words and kind of the angle we're going for. But I want to get in. You know, play my axe and let people see, you know, kind of what we do and put a more visual video to the video.
I'm old school like that too, man. I'm like, I grew up
video.
on MTV and a pure freaking performance video, whatever.
And listen, I mean, I think I can speak for the three of us that we all love albums. We all love great albums. You know, I mean, I would like to be in a position to where we have an album, but we can still do that. We can release these songs one by one, and then at a certain point, we can put them together in a package that is in the order of the songs that how we feel they were meant to be in, and then there it is. You can download, and if you haven't listened to any of the songs, you've only listened to a few songs, then there's your opportunity to go download the whole thing as we heard it in our head or whatever.
Yeah, and if you bought them all, then you don't have to pay for nothing.
Right.
Here it is.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, man. I've seen a lot of, you know, it's just fun also seeing how people get creative with all that. Like, you know, I had friends that did like a single a year and then at the end of the year did a record like we're kind of talking about. And then like they also like had individual like art to go with each track. And then like you could, you know, and I think they did everything like on a jump drive type of deal and so, you know, just like it's just fun to see how people find ways to get their music out there, and because that's all it is right now. Everybody's just trying to figure out ways to get creative and what's the best way to, you know, hook people into buying some tunes. So
I was listening to you, Shane.
yeah,
I was listening too.
I was listening. I was just trying to make sure that we documented this for posterity's sake.
Yeah.
Yes.
Terrible about this.
Selfie.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk. I didn't know. I never thought I'd say this, but I want to talk about Scott's nuts for a little while.
Yes, let's
Christ.
do it.
No, that's a fucking short story.
I've already got my sacks out.
Yeah.
I already got my sack out.
Where are they?
I would love
I can't see
for
them.
you.
By the time we have a next podcast, you're gonna have another product to peddle. I'm sure.
I've been sitting here looking at his nuts for about an hour, so
Yeah, I just can't wait here till you put them in your mouth.
Wait a minute. You guys are sitting at my kitchen table. What am I missing? I can't see.
I got my sack on your table right
Oh,
there.
all right. It's cool.
So this is
Delicious is the word.
the Rockstar dust on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
My buddy Will.
Rock these dusty nuts
Oh yeah,
with the Rockstar taco dust.
yeah, man.
You need about 10 more of those waters by the time you eat all those.
This that is tasty. So
Yeah.
along with you know, playing guitar and rock music and everything else, you started a new adventure into selling nuts now, huh?
Yeah. You know, I got a thing of the Rockstar taco dust from Will down at Rockstar Taco Shack in Newtown there, and I was cooking with it, and I was like, man, this stuff's great, right? And I just had this epiphany. I was just like, man, like this stuff would be pretty good, I think, on and some peanuts, like spiced peanut, you know. And I happen to have like this huge, like 20-pound jar that my mom gave me, because every time I go over to her house, she's like, "Here, take this gallon of peanuts." I'm like, "Okay, Mom."
Do you need any kale?
Your impression is spot on.
Yeah.
Love you, Mama Joan.
Yeah. So anyway, so I had these peanuts right there, sitting right there. So I just like took like a little container, poured some dust in there, took some peanuts, shake it around, and I was like, "Oh man, that's fire!" And I need to like figure out a way to make these two together. And so I did, and it's been doing it's been doing good, man. It's been doing good.
Yeah. You even got a shout out from Richard Fortis online the other day.
Yeah, man.
That's
Who's
pretty
that?
sweet. Yeah. I think he's doing pretty well for himself these days.
Yeah, man. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
And he
I guess you guys go way back too, playing all around town.
we met when MDZ opened up some shows for Guns N' Roses back in about 2006 and seven. 2007. And I remember the first show I saw him. I was like, "Hey, man, what's up?" You know, we're from St. Louis. I used to go see you play all the time. Pale Divine, The Eyes back in the day, Mississippi Nights. And, you know, we just became buds. And then, lo and behold, I ended up being his guitar tech for like 3 years. And, you know, we just remained friends. And, yeah. So he wanted to try the nuts out. And
He came to
How
town.
long did it take him to want to try the nuts out?
immediately, he saw my post online and inquired, wanted to know how he could get his hands on my nuts.
He was in town. Mike Zito did a Chuck Berry tribute at Del Mar Hall
Yep.
with Fortis, Charlie Berry III, Walter Trout,
Right.
Robin Trower, like all these great guitar guys, and this incredible night of music. And anyway, I got to officially meet Richard that night and got him to sign my record and stuff, and it was cool to get to make it official and stuff. But
That guy is insanely talented.
He's
Insanely talented.
he's insanely talented. He's a really good dude.
Yeah.
Really good friend, man. He's the type of guy like literally give you the shirt off his back. I know that's partially because he doesn't like wearing shirts, but no, he's a really great guy, man.
Yeah.
Incredibly gifted guitar player. He does live here in St. Louis. He used to live in L.A. He lived in New York, but he has come back to roost. You know, come back home.
Now he lives at 745 Baker Street.
That's the good thing about these mega talented guys from St. Louis or that live in St. Louis. They're all almost every single one I've ever met in my life or heard of has always been genuine. They're always been down to earth. They're just a product of the town, which is a really cool thing to hear.
I talk about him a lot on this show, but a guy like Steve Ewing and all the guys. Yeah. All those guys have been very cool and supportive of me and the show, and I mean everybody around town. Like but Steve's one of the first that he was on the show, like episode 5, and then Steve's Hot Dogs was rolling, and he's like allowed me to use the space to throw the first birthday party for the show and everything, and so we did like a little acoustic brunch, so which I piggybacked off his idea that he was already doing and stuff. But anyway, you know, he gave me a lot of cool opportunities that, you know, he didn't have to do or anything. But he's very generous, and so it was cool to become friends with him now and stuff over the years.
Yeah, man, love those guys.
Yeah,
there's just a ton of really talented and solid people, you know, humble, solid,
right,
just gifted, all around good cats.
Yeah, man.
And if we can't pull this off as a 3-piece, there's no shortage of talented, humble dudes that we might be calling to come sit and play live.
Yep.
Right.
What do you mean? Why wouldn't we be able to pull this off a 3-piece? Is it me? Is it my singing? Is it my drumming? Is it me?
It's your singing. It's mainly your singing.
Fuck.
Well, Scott, how can they get some of your Dusty Nuts if they're looking?
Right now, Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, at D's DEEZ Dusty Nuts.
Or you can go down to the Rockstar Taco Shack in Newtown and buy them there.
You can go and you should go down there because they have really great food. But yeah, you can go online and shoot a message. It's still work in progress. It's only been about maybe like a month since I started doing it, and it's kind of taken off to where I'm treading water. Just keeping up. I gotta learn a lot about the retail grocery business. I've never been involved in that before.
Yeah.
So.
Well, very cool. I'm excited to see how this thing grows, man.
Thanks.
How this takes off for you. So.
What's your favorite? The nuts or the clusters?
I like the Rockstar nuts here. Yeah. I can definitely see how I could polish off a bag in one sitting and
polish my nuts.
Yeah, there you go.
You want
He's
them on a
polishing
silver
off
platter?
your bag.
Oh man,
How does it feel to know that there's hundreds of people, maybe dozens of people, polishing off a bag of your nuts?
Oh man, Milwaukee's
Every
about to
day.
explode with my nuts, man. I can't wait. Yeah, ship 50 bags off today.
Oh.
Yeah, it feels great.
Bet it does.
It's mainly because I'm mentally like a 15-year-old, and anything that jokes about nuts and nut sacks, and it's just perfect.
We are like completely mature, immature people in general. I mean, quite honestly, I mean, we joke. You hear us. We make fun of each other and joke with each other constantly. But the music itself, it's amazing how none of that ends up in the music. Like the music is like the serious side of where our thoughts and our brains go, and the rest of it is just when we're hanging out.
Yeah, the rest of it's just trash.
It's
just trash
absolute
people.
idiocy.
You can go back to MDZ, man. Like the Sick Inside.
What is that? I don't know.
What? Who?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. This band that I was in, there's a song called "Sick Inside."
Head Trip Window?
No, and that song's literally about my sense of humor. It's like somebody tell me what the fuck is wrong with me, man, because like my sense of humor is just twisted. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
I've said that several times to people.
Yeah,
Did you ever find that cat? No.
we don't talk about that
I'm sorry.
podcast.
It's the internet. It lives on forever, Blake.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
I told you I like turtles.
All this stuff. all this stuff is inadmissible, right? We didn't sign anything.
Nope.
Okay.
All right, I got a couple of questions I've been asking everybody and having fun with these, and all right, let's go. You guys can all chime in on answers. But what's a song that always gets stuck in your head? What's the last song you guys woke up singing?
Rainbow in the Dark. It's on repeat. It's fucking Dio. I don't know why. It's always up there. Listen to it. Listen to fucking Dio give you the horns right now.
It's a great song. I love that Dio was in the Tenacious D movie, man. Like when he comes to life off the poster.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. What's in my head? Let's just stick with Blake's answer because I don't have one at the moment.
Yo, you can't fucking double Dio. Okay?
It's-
Kick your own shit.
You can't double stamp or triple stamp.
Double Dio.
Double Dio, you like that?
Yeah, I do. Never get enough Dio.
Nice Dumb and Dumber reference, by the way. You just snuck that in there.
You know, it was weird, man. Now, of course, I'm spacing on it, but I woke up this morning with some really terrible pop song like in my head, and I don't know, like it just, I have tonight. I have tinnitus, so like I have the TV on constantly when I'm at home, just because it helps with the ringing, and just have background noise. So, really, what's in my head a lot is pharmaceutical commercial jingles. Yeah, like for real. It's
Really?
yeah.
along
Yeah.
those same lines.
Oh, Ozempic,
Yeah, but
like I hear that like probably 30 times a day. It's crazy. It drives me mad.
That's
It drives me
amazing that you
insane.
say this because that is based off obviously a song.
Yeah.
I like to change lyrics of songs. Like
Right.
that's like if I'm listening to a song and usually it's just nonsense, right? I'm listening to a song for the 18th fucking time in my life.
Yeah.
I'll throw in like a in the middle of it, you know, like whatever, just you know, like that random nonsense that comes in your brain. That's what sticks in my head.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know if anybody else does that, but like you drive down the street and you just make fun of every song you heard. It could be a song you love, could be a song you hate, and you just make fun of it relentlessly with nonsense and gibberish.
I always think about like trying to improve songs, you know, like
Add harmonies.
Adding harmonies, or like, you know, changing like one or two words to just like improve it. Like, you know, she's buying a stairway to the second floor. Just seems more realistic to me, you know. You know, it's a long way to heaven, you know what I mean? Like, but you can get to the second floor.
That sounds like our next album title,
Purgatory.
Long Way to Heaven.
There you go.
Or is Purgatory
Or a Five Finger Death Punch song.
Well, you could buy a Stairway Down.
Purgatory's right
Doesn't have
here,
to be.
right now. You know me, I like to change song lyrics to the most lewd, crude things that I can't say.
It's fun.
On the podcast. It's fun, but I can't say any of those things.
Well, you don't even.
other people.
It's like, could you even remember anything you did? Because I think it's all like just unfiltered nonsense.
Yes,
though,
I could. I mean, that's along the lines of Chappelle. Give me some of that pee pee. Give me some of that poo poo.
You know that. Yeah,
I want to piss on you.
You know that started in the car when he's listening to R. Kelly.
Yeah.
He's like,
You like dusty nuts and you cannot lie.
Right. So things like this, you know?
There you go.
Yeah. Got some radio
That question
gold here,
sucked.
guys.
Let's move on, Shane.
Get the fuck out of my house, Shane.
This came up the other day. I was listening to David Spade on the Stern Show, and somebody proposed the question to him, and I thought it was interesting, so I thought I'd ask you guys. And if you had to choose your all-time SNL cast, you have 8 people plus your two update spots. Do you guys? Who would you guys? Who do you think would fill that SNL cast?
If you guys can't think, I could probably spit.
I could start a few.
Go ahead.
Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman, for sure.
He's got to be in there.
Absolutely.
That early '90s, late '80s, early '90s era SNL to me was overall cast was probably the best head to toe. But Grant, I'm a little biased because that was when I was 13 to 22. It was that cast. You got to go back though to like Chevy and Aykroyd. I mean,
Dude.
I don't know about Aykroyd. I think he's overrated.
yeah, you think?
Besides, fucking bag of glass. It's a bag of glass. Yeah. And that was a good one.
Great skit.
But it's
His
only
fucking name
8,
is
right?
Titian.
So it's
Yeah,
8.
Titian.
It's 8. We've already said Hartman, so that's 1.
Yeah, no, okay, so I've got a little bit of a list going here. So Chris Farley, Phil Hartman, Dana Carvey, Eddie Murphy.
all the same.
Well,
Chevy-
you have
Chevy-
a list. Go. This
Chevy
is your
Chase.
list. This is
I'm just, well, he asked me too.
I agree. I
Not
agree
just
with
you.
all those. So
He didn't
far.
say, hey, Blake,
I didn't have
what
to
are your
say, like, I
favorite
have to-
characters?
See, another reason we don't give him a microphone.
I don't know what they're talking about. Fuck you.
Okay, anyways.
Yeah.
How many is that?
Well, that's 1, 2, 3,
What you got?
4, 5. I mean, do you disagree with any of those?
No, not at all.
Okay,
Not at all.
great. Thank you
total
for-
agreement. I'm gonna go Will Ferrell. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Farrell. I mean,
I'm gonna go Kristen Wiig, New School, and what's his name? He does the guy.
Oh, Bill Hader.
Yeah,
No, Bill Hader.
Yeah.
Bill
fucking
Hader's
amazing.
good, but I mean,
Yeah, but a lot of
what
these are
about-
like the characters that they do. It's
Yeah,
like-
but that's the whole point. They're
What
creating
about-
iconic characters. What the fuck
one.
do you know? You're a fucking singer.
he's so
like-
angry.
So who would who is your
what about Tracy
Tina Fey.
Morgan? Tracy Morgan.
Yeah, all right, Tracy Morgan.
Tracy Morgan.
Tracy Tina.
Is he a goat though? Is he greatest of all time?
I mean, he was pretty funny.
Tina Fey,
Tina Fey was good.
who's
Kristen. I mean, I started Kristen Wiig.
I think Kristen Wiig's good, but I like Kristen Wiig outside of us.
I like Kristen Wiig
yeah,
because
I'll give you that.
she's kind of hot. You know, that's kind of why I like her.
So who's at the Weekend Update desk?
Kevin Nealon.
I think Kevin Nealon's in.
Kevin Nealon was good. Now outside that,
I mean, I know a lot of people like Norm Macdonald too, and you go back to the Dennis Miller days too. But I
no Dennis
Fuck
Miller.
Nealon was the best.
Michael
Man.
Shay's pretty funny though.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, but Nealon carried it by himself.
Yeah, Nealon. I'll go with Nealon.
I definitely a big fan of Kevin Nealon on there. Just some of the subtle like dumb jokes that he would throw. You know, like
Belushi.
All
right, before I forget.
Yeah.
when he'd be like, in addition, 2 + 2 is 4 and stuff. You know, stuff like that. Like you know, just so things like that would always crack me up. Just I'm right there with you guys. I spent a lot of time. I didn't catch it all like when it was on. but Comedy Central used to replay the shit out of all the 90s ones, and so I watched all those Farley, Spade, Sandler years and all that, and big part of my childhood and stuff, growing up watching those guys and just cracking up.
But look at the musical guests, though. Like, so there's two bands that did musical performances on SNL that changed my life.
Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah, exactly. That got me into activism. Celine Dion gave me a boner. She didn't really.
Like right now?
Pearl Jam's performance on SNL and Faith No More's performance on SNL in early 90s. I think it was Faith No More and John Goodman, I think, was the host at the time. It was their first performance. It was epic.
Speaking of erections, you know the difference between a Ferrari and an erection? I don't have a Ferrari. What were we talking about?
I don't know.
Not my Ferrari.
The demise of our career. That's what we were talking about. Yay!
So when the And They Rise biopic comes out, who would you guys cast in the movie?
Sinead O'Connor.
Jeremy Renner.
Nothing compares. Jeremy Renner? Yeah, I can see that for you.
Yeah.
He's got a similar hair going on too.
He's also a ninja, so he'll make you happy in the Marvel movies.
What's who's the really angry guy from Hot Tub Time Machine?
Rob Corddry.
Yeah, Rob Corddry.
Absolutely you.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. Done.
I'm watching then. Yeah. I will absolutely watch that. I will not. That will not be a painful moment. I will watch this movie.
You guys want to watch it tonight?
I know exactly who your character is.
Just go ahead and say it. Everybody says it every fucking day.
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Wolverine himself.
There you go.
Come on, he doesn't. He looks kind of like him. Angry, annoyed, pissed off, salty.
Harry.
Want
to see it?
That man, Rob Corddry said something one time like, I don't know if it was in the movie or whatever it was, but I just remember him referencing like, yeah, I'm growing the bangs out, and because he's only got that little patch right on the top, and corrected me up that he's growing the bangs out.
I've never thought of that before. Man. That really is amazing.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.
He's my spirit human.
Yeah.
Spirit human.
That's what's a dream duet or collaboration you guys would like to see for the band?
God,
Celine Dion.
Personally, I want to say this. I want to see Ian Thornley sing with Soundgarden.
With us or like
I think it's a general
duo or with us?
I was thinking for the band, for your band.
Okay.
I'll take Ian Thornley too. That's fine.
Okay, there you go.
Right.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be.
So, but I'm going to go with A and B.
That wouldn't be horrible. Ooh, man, I've got a couple. Dustin Kensrue from Thrice. What's it? Ian? Is it? No. What's the singer's? Not Ian. Singer from Carnival. Man, I'm blanking right now.
I'm blanking. Yeah, I don't think I know Carnival.
I can't remember.
If you don't know Carnival,
I didn't go do some homework.
We will play them for you here shortly.
There you go.
But one that's local. If he's listening, Clint Lowry.
Yeah,
that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, man.
Of course. That was a given.
Yeah,
it's really great to see another local guy doing well for himself like that. Like it's.
And the fact that along the lines of what we talked about earlier, guys that come to St. Louis, he's a transplant, right? But so humble and cool and down to earth, And he, I saw him at Woodstock in '99, and I was at Woodstock '99 and watched those guys. In fact, I think they even posted it from their Seven Dust page today, a memory from that show. And to think about all the stuff that they went through and how long they were a band, and then he moved to St. Louis, and he's just completely cool and down to earth. And last time he was actually here right before the lockdown started.
Yeah, he was. That was like a week before, wasn't it?
Yeah,
2 weeks.
And we saw him at Fubar.
I forgot to mention this. I thought about this, and I'm glad you mentioned Clint, because the riff, the main rhythm guitar riff for When You Fall, was written on Seven Dust's tour bus when I was teching for Clint.
Oh yeah.
That's where that came from.
So we got to pay them royalties and shit?
No. No,
What happened
I
on the
remember.
bus?
Me and
Stays
Morgan,
on
we
the
gotta
bus.
talk.
Man, no, but I remember like playing this really basic, just looped. I think riff, the main
You
thing.
talking about the main,
Yeah.
the lead line at the beginning, the
The-
hook, the lead hook.
Not the hook, but just the rhythm guitar thing.
Okay.
But it was a little bit slower, I think. And I remember playing it for Clint, and he's like, yeah, man, it's like a little Alice in Chainsy, it's like it's cool. But, I was like, he's like, I guess it depends on what you do with it vocally. And I was like, that's what we did with it vocally. He did like the video too. So I hope I made you proud, bro.
Yeah. What do you? Scott's done a couple different voices, but do you guys do any celebrity impressions?
A little bit Sean Connery from time to time. That's about it.
Do I? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't.
You used to, didn't you? I'm trying to
used
think
to do
back.
a lot.
Like
I used to
all
do-
the times that we used to get drunk.
I
and
used
you-
to do. This is so stupid.
Speaking of,
I used to, back when I used to drink heavily, I would get. Why I don't get a microphone again? I would do Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. I'd get up and sing a Skin Suit song
Yeah.
to Sweet Home Alabama, and it was fucking.
let's not do.
I don't really want to do that, but I want to make a skin suit. It was people would just like sit there, their eyes would like bug open, like what the fuck is going on? I did. What?
I can just make sounds like this.
Yeah.
You make stupid
voice.
sounds.
Herbert.
I can just
Herbert the pervert.
say, hey guys, what's going on?
I would do a Terminator. I'm like, come on, let's go, let's do it. Come on, go downstairs. We have to rehearse now.
That's not bad.
Let's do it.
That's not bad.
Get out of my house. I need more whiskey now. What am I doing here in my own kitchen?
Is
Shane,
it
who
Scotch
are you?
whiskey?
It's
What did you pour me?
I don't know, 007. For Queen and Country, yeah.
Let's do this shot then.
How old is this whiskey?
This is so ridiculous.
Stupid.
I love these questions.
So
by the way.
stupid. Anything else?
Yeah.
I didn't think so. Your microphones are puny microphones. Nah.
So silly.
I'm pumping right now on your microphone.
Yeah.
You see it? Look at the veins pump on your microphone.
All right, can we switch the question so he stops doing that?
Next question.
All right, one more. So you get to front the band for one song. What's the band and what's the song?
Is it a song that I can or can't have no prayer of singing?
Well, I'll allow for this particular circumstances that you can sing it and you know all the words, and the band calls you up on stage and lets you sing. What's the one you want to sing?
I want a serious one, and I want a not serious one.
There you go.
Oh man. Let me think about this for a minute, because the serious one I'm going to struggle with.
I mean, what if the singer of that band is dead and the band was that singer's name?
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah. I guess they're not really a band then, are they?
I don't know.
Man, you got the
I'm
floor
kind of
here,
worried
dog.
about. I don't know where's this going.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was asking for you guys in case you came up with some dumb idea to mention something like that.
I got two. I'm going to go ahead and start because you guys are just fucked up.
Yeah.
I got two serious songs. One would be Imagine by the Beatles.
Well, he's dead.
It has nothing to do with rock. Scott's dead. Can I just sing about singing? You talking about Alive? Did you sing Alive? No. Imagine I would like
hypothetical.
if I could sing like Andrea Bocelli and sing the prayer, I would do that because he's got the best voice in the history of fucking voices ever. And if I had a couple jokes, I would sing 2 of them. I would sing Pop That Pussy, and I would also sing Soul Crusher. Should I? No, Austin, I won't put your ears through that. I was about ready to sing Soul Crusher, but
I'd want to sing Free Your Mind by In Vogue.
There you go.
Oh, there you sit by Head Trip Window.
ooh,
Who's that? Point Essential Volume 2-ish.
Maybe. Sure.
Volume early.
Yeah.
I would like
think
You
it was
old,
2.
you old man.
I would like to hear "Free Your Mind" right now. Go.
Free your mind and the rest will follow.
Nice.
Yeah, but I can't do it that on that high voice
Then why would you want to sing it?
because I want to sing it in my voice.
So sing in your voice.
I feel like I have my voice. I need
It's
to get
just
it out.
like Soul Crusher. Soul Crusher! All right, and I'm going to retire from the microphone. Thank you for the podcast.
For the 18th time, why we don't give him a microphone.
Eternal Life, Jeff Buckley.
Nice.
Or Dream Brother, Jeff Buckley, maybe. So, 2 of my favorites.
You could probably pick a song on that album, and I would be... I couldn't sing it. I could sing parts of it. His falsetto is like otherworldly, man.
But
like I can't do it.
then again, which brought up why I asked that question before, because if Jeff Buckley's not actually there to do it with you, so like I don't know, I just love those songs, and I wish I could sing them. You know what I mean? That I guess that's really where that comes from.
And that's a dude too. Like his band was it was a 3-piece, and they were
no.
when I live at
Shanae?
the live album, was him and his drummer and bass player, I thought. And he would always go in directions, and the band would have to follow him and chase him around. Like you don't know when he's gonna go into the next part, but they were always able to keep up. And
he had a rhythm guitar player.
the one I remember was him and 2 other guys.
And Live at Shanae is just him solo, so that can't be it.
No.
I don't know.
We'll have to look that.
So what's your
We'll
what,
ver-
what, are
we'll
your
fact
what are
check.
your fun songs there, Mr. Davis, Mr. Dusty Nuts?
Anything by ABBA.
Yeah.
Care to sing us one?
I don't know any ABBA songs.
Dancing Queen.
No.
There's a queen.
Yes.
Only having me.
There it is.
Boy.
It's the soft version. It's the bedtime
all right.
version.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
All right, there's a lot of songs.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be a ton of fun. I like to. I think even talking about that, free your mind, man. Like, I don't know if you guys. Obviously we're focusing on the originals, but like getting maybe a more rock cover of that like would be kind of cool too. Like something like that. Just explore that kind of stuff like that.
We've talked about covers recently, like maybe finding like a really cool one that we could do. It's not going to be that one.
No, no.
I'm just-
But in that era, that's like I have a really affinity for like soul and R&B,
Sure.
especially from either the 90s, 60s, 70s, 80s.
Well, I just love that like misdirection though too. When people like, when wouldn't have ever expected that song being covered, by a rock band or whatever, and
No.
that kind of stuff like that.
No.
So it's like I like when people rearrange it and make it, work like that, and just like, but where it's like completely different than the original, and then it takes you like you get to the hook, and then it's like, oh, there it is, that's the song, like that kind of thing, like where it's like, so I don't know, it's just fun to hear bands take on different arrangements and make the song their own and stuff. So
I tell you what, it's.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it feels like we're doing that with Spineless, with the electric thing that we're doing with it.
Yeah.
It almost feels like we're doing our own cover of. It's really his song. It's an original song, but it's such a different take on it that it feels almost like doing a cover. It's a lot of fun actually. I'm really looking forward to it.
He and I both were because we record. We like when we do stuff like that, we record it, at least just videotape it, just to get it down and make sure we remember it. And he and I were watching it separately and texting about it. I'm like, this is something we have to record. Like, we need to record this version of it. It came together so quickly, but it was like one of the, like you said, playing a cover of. It felt like playing a cover of your own tune. But what all of us would do, and throughout our years of playing cover songs in different conglomerations, it was either through electric cover band, full band, acoustic duo, we would always take liberties with
Right.
other people's songs. You know, like we would add harmonies where there was no harmony.
Yeah, respectfully.
Yeah, absolutely. Like tastefully stuff. It wasn't ever done out of spite. It was like, you know what? I hear a harmony here, and I'm gonna add it. I don't care if you like it or not.
Yeah.
I think it sounds good, and we're gonna do it. And we would do that even arrangement wise. We would add and mix songs together that didn't belong together, but make it work. And a lot of that was improv. It was live. Like it came out of a performance.
Well, that's what we do with we posted a cover of Indifference by Pearl Jam, and it's essentially what we would do. We'd be playing cover shows, and we knew that it's not Tom Petty or Mustang Sally or whatever, but we would play covers and throw in some stuff that we just wanted to do because we kind of just don't care. We didn't know.
Yeah.
It's and so I've always loved that song, and we started doing that and started adding some harmonies here and there, and then he and I recorded basically the version that we would do whenever we would play acoustic shows way back when, and I still like it, man. It's so fun.
Yeah, it's fun. We would do another good example would be like Incubus Summer Romance Anti-Gravity Love Song. Nobody touches that song, but
just because they don't remember it, or
they don't remember it, they never heard it, and it's on Science, and nobody knows what that album is except for New Skin. If you play that cover live, people bob their heads, but there's always one that will come and is like, I can't believe you just played that song.
Right.
Yeah, and there's always 12 who go,
Can you play something for me?
Yeah.
My girlfriend's to dance to?
Exactly.
That crap you just played.
Exactly. That's the one thing I hate about cover shows.
Play something upbeat.
You can
Play something
you
dancey.
can throw that little curveball here and there that either people aren't expecting that group to play, or it's a band that no one ever bothers to try and cover.
Right.
And we've always tested that.
I love that. Going along with that, I love that meme that it's like a picture of Jimi Hendrix playing, and the girl's whispering, "Can you play something we like or something we know or whatever?" Or something like that, and
Man.
That's why
we've talked about this a couple times recently. So one night I remember playing a gig somewhere. It was a train wreck, and some girl. This is when I was single, and some girl walked up and said, "Why aren't you talking to my friend?" It was in the middle of a song. She walked up on stage over to me and started talking in my ear while I'm singing and playing, saying I need to pay attention to her friend. And I looked at her, I'm like, get the fuck off the stage.
Right.
What the fuck do you think this is? I'm like, what entitles you to walk up here and talk in my ear while I'm playing a show? And that's what I hate about the bar scene sometimes, is that you get these people that think that you're just up there to entertain them, and that's it.
Yep.
It's like, okay, there is some integrity here. There is a line that you don't cross. I don't go to your office and stand at your desk while you're doing it and telling you what I think you should do.
I'm going to do that at your job, though, now you think about that.
Come on in.
But there are lines you can cross when you
My
used to
office
play
is
at
at my
Pops.
house.
There were a lot of lines crossed at Pops when we used to play there.
God. Yes.
We'll save that story for another podcast. How about that?
There it is. Well, get involved with And They Rise on Facebook, Instagram. Like I said, grab any of the tunes. Available digitally everywhere. Keep an eye out. June 12th. Spineless. Available everywhere. So keep an eye out for that.
ANDTHEYRISE.com.
ANDTHEYRISE.com. There it is.
Yeah. Rockstar Tacos, Rock D's Dusty Nuts. What else are we peddling?
All those things.
Son of a Nun. Or is that not ready yet?
No.
He's got other adventures in the bag.
Yeah.
I like to fancy myself an entrepreneur.
That's a fancy word.
I know, that's why I like it. I think it's French. I don't know for sure, but it sounds French. Entrepreneur.
Sounds like manure to me, buddy.
Manure in it.
I have that with a baguette. And
Speaking of, have you seen the trend baguetting, where you can actually take people substitute baguettes for normal everyday
it's
things?
Amazing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
What do
It'd
you
be
fucking
better.
sub a baguette
Anything.
for?
Anything.
Toilet
Just take
paper.
baguette, and this could be the baguette.
Okay, toilet paper.
Toilet paper. Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Yeah,
He said something for anything with my car keys.
be funny.
My shoes. My fucking shoes. Can you
Be funnier if it was dildos.
That's what they did that too. They,
Can we not end on that?
They did,
Since the end was coming.
Yeah.
they did
Hands always coming when you dildo baguette.
somebody.
First album title, gentlemen. Be funnier if it was dildos.
Yeah.
And They Rise. Be funnier if it was dildos.
You saw the one with like all those guys like with the AR-15s or whatever on the Capitol front and whatever, and then they substitute dildos and for all their guns and stuff.
I saw that. Yeah,
that was a pretty good one.
We need to end the podcast
There
here.
Yep, end the podcast.
There it is. Well, thank you guys. This has been a ton of fun getting to hang out and getting to talk about all this stuff. So I really appreciate you doing this.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Thanks,
man.
Shane.
Thanks for
Appreciate
coming
it.
to us and appreciate the time, man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. Well, hopefully we'll do it again soon.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Bye, everybody.
See
out.
ya.
Thank you.
See you.
Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Well, yeah, that was it.